Hey everyone, welcome to My Final Play. I'm here on location at Tate Field in Williamsport, PA. I'm here with former professional softball player Angie Stackhouse-Hunley. Angie, thanks for joining me today.
Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. We're going to get into the sport of softball and the impact it had on your life, but more importantly, kind of where it started. So, if you would, just get into the sport in general and how you got started.
Okay. I started playing softball. I think in first grade, out of the T-ball and East Lake Cumming Little League. I grew up in Hughesville area. Continued playing through Little League, and as I became a young teenager, had an opportunity to come to Tate Field and try out for a summer program called the Silver Bullets. I remember being extremely nervous showing up on my first day. All the girls knew each other but me and like one other kid, so that was a little intimidating. They had all grown up playing together, and I had to come in and kind of prove myself and become a part of the team, which I did pretty quickly, but I was extremely shy at that age, so being a part of this team and coming in and doing that really helped me break out of my shell, which was a good thing.
So with you saying you came from the East Lake Cumming program, most of them were from the Williamsport or Jersey Shore area?
Yeah, so Williamsport, I think there was one or two from Jersey Shore, South Williamsport, and then there was like two of us from Hughesville. So I don't know, 90% of the girls were from Williamsport.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, the Silver Bullet program was definitely a powerhouse program in the area. What was it like to even have the opportunity to play on that team?
Life-changing.
Yeah.
It grew my knowledge and ability of the sport tremendously. I think I really took off as an athlete just being around those that maybe were just a touch better than me at the time, just helped me raise my game to the next level.
Yeah.
And then just the experience of beginning to travel was very new to me. I mean, my first year I played with them, I remember we flew to Texas for the national tournament, and that was the first time I was ever on an airplane, first time I was ever exposed to like a big time tournament, so it's a lot of eye-opening experiences with the group.
Yeah. Now, at what point then, with playing on that team and the experience that provided, at what point did you have the hope of playing at the next level?
When I started playing, we were competing at the 14 and under level, so at that point, that wasn't even a realm of thought for me. I think once we got into the 16 and under and started realizing that college coaches were at our games and things like that, then it kind of became a reality that, hey, this is something that could happen. And then, growing up through the program, the coaches started talking about putting together player profiles and recruiting videos and all those things, and it was just kind of like, okay, yeah, that's what we're doing. And I mean, that became the ultimate goal, was to figure out a way to go on and continue my career.
Now, you ended up playing at Bucknell University. What did that recruiting process look like then for you as well?
So the summer before senior year, we were traveling our normal summer ball schedule, and that's like a hot summer for coaches to be out looking at athletes. And I had gotten some phone calls and interest from several schools, but I remember the Bucknell coach being at a few games and Mike Tate telling me that she was going to be at one particular game, that I had a horrendous game, but she called my house a few days later and talked to my dad and told him that she wanted me to come be the starting catcher at Bucknell, and from that point on I just kind of had it in the back of my head that that's what I was going to do. I still took other visits and were entertaining other offers, but just hearing that, knowing that they played at the Division I level and the campus and the facilities there, that's where I wanted to be.
Right.
So it worked out.
So tell us a little bit then about the experience that you had at Bucknell and what you've accomplished throughout your career there.
I had a great experience playing at Bucknell. It was a tough transition coming in as a freshman just because of the academics and the atmosphere there. It was pretty different than what I was accustomed to. I mean, it's a private school, very high academic. So the people there, it was an adjustment,
Yeah.
just because it wasn't what I grew up with. But I quickly found my niche and had some really great teammates take me under their wing. I was able to get into the starting lineup from freshman year on, so that was helpful. I think that just kept me driving to be the best and wanting to be out on the field.
Right.
Being a catcher, it kind of puts you in charge when you're out there, and I enjoyed that part of it. I loved being behind the plate, seeing the entire field, wanting to be able to tell my teammates where the play was, call the game. At that point, we were allowed to call our own game, so
right.
that was a lot of fun. And I had a great coach who has like the highest softball IQ I think I've ever met, and she really helped me raise my game.
Yeah. So what would you say would be the biggest accomplishment of your collegiate career?
My senior year was a fantastic year for me. I ended up hitting over 400. Was first team all conference, nationally ranked in batting average. So just being able to kind of finally play the game at the level I wanted to play at, and then help our team get to the conference championship for the first time in my career, that was a large accomplishment.
Yeah, unreal. So you were actually part of the pioneering team to take that program as far
Yeah,
as
I think it's been a lot of years prior to that before they were there, and then there's been a lot of success ever since. So yeah, I think we really helped pave the way and kind of put Bucknell softball back on the map in the Patriot League.
Awesome. Now, as far as the extent to what you competed, you were able to take a year and play overseas in Sweden as well.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? And how did that actually start as far as the process?
The experience was life-changing, to say the least. It started because my coach got an email from like an international recruiter.
Yeah.
I think he was looking through Division I numbers and had seen like my batting average and some of the numbers I put up that year, and just put a feeler out like, hey, what's this athlete doing? Does she have a job? Where's she going from graduation? And I was so focused on my softball career that all those other things hadn't really occurred to me yet, because I wanted to finish my career. I wanted to do the best I could. So she had brought that to me and sent me the information, and I remember I spoke to my parents about it, and we agreed that it would be something that I should pursue. So I wrote them back, and the ball got rolling, and I got connected with a team called the Alby Club. So it's called a club there because it's very European.
Yeah.
I think everything's kind of based on the sport of soccer, which is right outside of Stockholm.
Okay.
So I jumped on a plane 3 weeks after I graduated and spent the next season playing all over the nation in Sweden.
Oh, wow. Now, as far as your final play, I know that we talked a little bit off camera. We wanted to explain or illustrate the final play of softball that had the most impact on you. What would you say that final play looked like?
I honestly don't remember the final play when I was overseas,
Yeah.
but I do remember my last at bat as a college athlete.
Yeah.
We were at the Patriot League Championship playing Colgate, and it was late in the game. I want to say it must have been the 6th inning, and I come up to the plate and I hit a single in the 5-6 hole. And I remember watching that ball just scoot by the shortstop's backhand and just breathing a sigh of relief, because I knew I probably wasn't ever going to get up again.
Oh, man. And as far as the emotion of that being your last at bat in college, was that something, you said you breathed that relief knowing that you weren't going to do it. Did the emotion hit you then, or was it after the game that it kind of came full circle?
I think after the game, I remember we ended the game on offense, and we had 2 outs and I was in the hole.
Yeah.
So I think it was then that it hit me that this is it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not getting back up. At that particular year, Colgate had a powerhouse pitcher, and I don't know, it just hit me. I just knew inside that there was a very small chance that we were going to get 2 more batters through that lineup. So that's when it hit me. And then after the game, I think it was just a whirlwind of emotion and saying goodbye to teammates, and we had a really great family atmosphere.
Yeah.
Parents and my coach, everybody.
Yeah. But to give the team and what you've accomplished the credit that it deserves, getting to that level and playing that far through the program is definitely an accomplishment in itself. So.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say then that transition looked like then? After you came back from Sweden, you went right into what it is that you're doing now.
Yep.
What did that look like for you as far as the transition?
Very smooth. I remember it was toward the end of my season in Sweden. I had been kind of scouring the NCAA website and just looking for coaching opportunities because I knew in my heart I wasn't ready to give up the game.
Yeah.
And I had taken a few phone interviews, but it was difficult being, in a different country,
right.
and different time zones and all those things. So as fate had it, one of the coaches that was at Bucknell had left that fall, kind of once fall ball started, and they were in need of a graduate assistant. And I immediately remember writing the coach, who was a new coach at the time, explaining, who I was and that I was coming home from Sweden and that I would love the opportunity to come back to school and go back and start coaching. And she set up an interview with me, I think the day after I got back, and I started a few days later, and it just kind of took off from there.
Yeah, and even the coaching career has progressed then. So what is it that you're doing currently?
I am a full-time pitching coach at Mansfield University.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there the last 12 seasons. Kind of really grown as a pitching coach. Being a catcher your whole career, you obviously have a good feel for pitching and what it takes, but I've never done it myself as an athlete, so that was a big transition of trying to coach something that I never actually physically did, and just honing my skills and becoming a professional at it. So it's been a process, but I feel like I've gotten there, and I'm in a good spot now.
Yeah, and the program's been successful as well. How far did you guys end up making it this year?
This year we made it to the conference championship for the first time since, I think, 2014 or 15. So it'd been a while. And, since I've been there, we've made it, I believe, 4 times. And one time we got a regional bid, which that was a very special team to go on and play to that next level.
Yeah.
And I was really thrilled to be a part of that and have that experience under my belt.
Yeah. What would you say would be the number one thing that the sport of softball has taught you throughout your life?
Probably persistence.
Yeah.
Just if you want something, go after it.
Yeah.
Keep working at it. And I'm a big believer of quietly working on your own.
Yeah.
I did that myself as an athlete, and then just being able to show up on game day with that confidence of knowing I put the work in.
Right.
And I've had a lot of great coaches along the way that were willing to meet with me one-on-one or in small groups and help me along the way with just getting better, Sorry.
It's always an improvement, though, and that's kind of one of the biggest things, that the persistence of life and that you can learn through sports is definitely a great aspect that sports can teach you. So.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely appreciate that, and I hope you all enjoyed the content as well. If you did, please like and subscribe, and remember, whatever it is that you do today, approach it with the mindset of, is this my final play? Thanks again.
Thank you.
Awesome.